So I had the pleasure of watching Starship Troopers again. I was just reminded about how great that movie is. And it got me thinking, it is so much better than James Cameron's Aliens. And that's not to say Aliens is a bad movie, but everyone always touts Aliens as this great action movie. You know, one of the best action movies of the 80s. And yeah, I know. Starship Troopers is a late 90s movie, but no one ever talks about it. No one talks about it in the same breath as Aliens. And I'm here to tell you that definitively Starship Troopers is a much better movie than Aliens. I know. You know, blasphemy, and how could you say that? James Cameron's the GOAT. But hear me out. Let me kind of go through the movie here briefly. And obviously there's going to be some spoilers for both movies, but let me plead my case. And if you agree, let me know in the comment section. And if you disagree, tell me I'm a fucking idiot and, you know, make your case for Aliens. Let's start with Aliens. Aliens is, hey, we're going to go back to where it all began from the first movie. And, you know, sidebar here, Alien is one of the best horror movies of all time. You know, obviously I don't categorize that as an action movie. It's definitely a space horror. And 1979, basically an 80s movie. Everything looks and feels 80s. Yeah, I mean, Aliens is just, let's get a bunch of tropes, character tropes, these Marines. You got the stereotypes in there, you know, the stupid white guy, the serious black guy, the muscular chick with the bandana. Might as well be played by Michelle Rodriguez. You know, so you have all these tropes, and you got Sigourney Weaver coming back, and really nothing happens in the movie. They come back, they find, you know, the alien hive. These aliens, who are just obviously people in suits, attack them, they shoot them, and they blow up, and she fights the queen in the end, and the queen, yeah, it's just whatever. It's not as good as the first one. I actually prefer to rewatch the third one over the second one. I think the third one kind of returns to that horror element of the first one. I know that's crazy. Call me nuts. I know the third one is supposed to be shunned by, you know, us movie people, but I actually like that one. I grew up on the third one. That's probably the one I've seen the most of and has a special place in my heart. But the first one is easily the best movie. But the second movie, Aliens, it's whatever. I think it's more of a miss than a hit. It's an action movie. You know what? You haven't seen an action movie with alien bugs until you've seen Starship Troopers. I'm talking Casper Van Dien as Johnny Rico. I mean, that name, Johnny Rico, he just sounds like he should be surfing in Point Break. You got Denise Richards before her face had started to melt, you know, right around the time Wild Things came out. You have Dina Meyer, who was just, you know, a stone cold fox in this movie. Jake Busey just kind of kills it as the goofy looking sidekick. Neil Patrick Harris, one of his, you know, better roles, I think, post Doogie Howser. Michael Ironside, you know, the grizzled teacher / vet. And you even have Hank from Breaking Bad playing the general who's has had enough of his shit. So just the cast of characters is just far superior. I mean, kind of compare that to Aliens. You have Sigourney Weaver, obviously she's great. Michael Bain, whatever the hell his name is. You have Newt, doesn't really say anything. Paul Reiser's kind of a slimy goofball. Bishop. And then you kind of get into Bill Paxton, who kind of plays this annoying guy. You have all these other ragtag group of soldiers that are just, you know, they could have been in Tropic Thunder. That's where they felt like they belonged. I think the characters are just far superior in Starship Troopers. The story, there's actually backstory to all of these characters from their high school, which they all look like they're 35, why they're in the military to begin with, what put Casper Van Dien's Johnny Rico there, why people are wanting to join the army, why they want to go and attack the bugs. Aliens, it's just like, we don't know, there could be some bugs there, let's go investigate again. As an audience, we already know there's aliens there, so there's no real big mystery. And the other big thing with Starship Troopers is they're not afraid to take chances. You know, people die in this movie. There's real stakes. I mean, I know in Aliens people die, but in Starship Troopers, Casper Van Dien, his mother and dad get wiped out in, is it Buenos Aires, you know, from the bugs. The bugs shot like an asteroid or some kind of ass plasma across the galaxy and destroyed that section of the Earth, which prompts him to re-enlist after he had quit previously. Dina Meyer, she ends up getting stabbed, and you thought she was going to survive, and she dies. Michael Ironside, he dies as well. He gets chewed in half, like Quinn from Jaws. Denise Richards' new boyfriend, he gets his fucking brain sucked out. Everyone dies except for like Neil Patrick Harris, Casper Van Dien, and Denise Richards. And in the end, Denise Richards even gets stabbed through the torso, and you know, she's walking around like she's fine. I'm not quite sure how that happened. It was a pretty big wound. She may want to get that checked out. But in Aliens, the real sad stuff happens in between Alien 2 and Alien 3 when Newt and the other dude die off screen. You don't really care about any of these characters, and you actually know they're all kind of fodder. At the end of the day, I think the story that they give all the characters in Starship Troopers is just way better. It's way better. And then this actual story itself is we're at war with these bugs on a distant planet who keep throwing shit at us, and the Earth is kind of in disarray. The movie's shot like it's kind of like an infomercial for the Army. It's just done so uniquely that it all fits together so much better than Aliens 2, which for the first hour of the movie, really nothing happens. For the first hour of Aliens, they have Sigourney Weaver just trying to plead her case to the corporation, and she can't, and they go back to the planet, and then all hell breaks loose. But that's not until an hour into the movie. Starship Troopers has you hooked from the beginning. They show that hook where Casper Van Dien gets stabbed, and then they kind of backtrack, like, how did we get to this point? The storytelling is just so much better, which is just so surprising. And then just the special effects. I mean, obviously Alien 2 has good special effects. They're groundbreaking. It's a movie that came 11 years beforehand, but they don't age as well. In Starship Troopers, like the CGI for these bugs, I remember seeing it when I was younger, is just so incredibly good. And the practical effects also, the practical effects are insane. The amount of dead bodies that they use with the blood and the guts and the gore. I remember when this movie came out when I was in middle school, I couldn't see it, but I had friends that saw it, and they were just like, dude, this movie has insane blood, guts, and gore, and it's got boobs, and it's got guns and spaceships. You have got to see this movie. So when I finally did see it a couple years after it came out, probably on network TV or whatever, heavily censored, or maybe I rented it at Blockbuster, I was just blown away. So the special effects, the set design, it's just insane. This whole world that they built. Aliens doesn't really build anything. You're kind of just in the same 80s looking style future that's dark, and you can barely see the aliens, and it doesn't really add anything. You're not really blown away by any of the imagery on screen. But in Starship Troopers, when they're at that base in the middle of the desert on this planet, and it's a trap set by the bugs, they go outside and there's just a million bugs rushing the base, and they have to like man it and kill them, and then there's flying bugs and all that. It all looks so real and so amazing. And so that in itself is just so immersive. Whereas Aliens, you're kind of looking at your cell phone, wondering when the hell something's going to happen. That's pretty much where I stand on at least like the story and how the movie delivers. So I think if you're looking to fire up a movie, you got your popcorn ready, you got your drinks, you got your pizza, you want to have that nice, chill, relaxing movie night where you're just entertained. I think if you had both these movies in front of you, I think Starship Troopers is going to keep you more entertained from start to finish. I think it's an overall better action movie, and I will defend that opinion until I die. I think that I'm glad I watched this movie again. I hope that if you don't agree with me, go back and rewatch this movie and then let me know your thoughts. If you're a hardcore Aliens fanboy, that's fine, but go back and watch Starship Troopers and tell me that you think it's a bad movie. Sure, it has cheesy lines. Sure, it has some funny acting at some points, but I think that's like the purpose of the movie. It is shot as kind of like a 90s action kind of infomercial to join up, with the space Marines or whatever the hell they're called. So that's my opinion. If you agree, let me know in the comments section. If you disagree, let me know in the comments section. Let's have a healthy debate. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all taking the time. I will see you guys next time. Get out of here.
I only have one rule. Everyone fights. No one quits.